Hello and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to today's Dux-Soup webinar. For those who aren't aware of who I am, my name is Giles Garnett. I'm Head of Professional Services here at Dux-Soup, and I'd like to welcome you all to today's special Dux-Soup webinar, where I'm delighted to introduce our guest speaker, Mike Batman Cohen. He's the founder of Wayne Technologies. Mike is going to share with us some practical, effective, and real-world LinkedIn messaging best practices that get results. And I'll let him go on to explain more. So without further ado, Mike, over to you.
Oh, wow. Thanks so much. That was really nice, guys. I totally didn't hit that myself. Hey, everybody. I know we still got folks kind of streaming in here. Hey, guys, if you could put in the chat just where you're from and whether you're a sourcer, recruiter, or leader, that'd be really cool. Let's go to the inbox. That's the goal here. All right, so this is me. Generally speaking, I'm gonna back out of this one. I've got a better introductory slide I'll use to introduce. That'll show off some like weirdness about me, because if you don't know me, I'm a strange duck. You see what I did there? The Dux-Soup reference. So guys, one really important thing to note, I do go live during this presentation, so please give me some grace as we're doing that. Also, super important to note, I do not wait for the end to take questions. So if you have any questions, ask them live. Where's my Batman mask and cape? The cape I've done away with. My mask is right here. So don't worry, I've got you covered. So guys, this is me. I run a sourcing on-demand company. We're a group of sourcing subject matter experts and heroes. So guys, I'm a conference speaker. I love training and helping people to learn and grow in their careers. I also like being the center of attention. And one way that presents itself is I am an indoor cycling instructor. I absolutely love running classes and basically making people listen to my music and move and sweat on the bike. I'm also a firm believer in pushing my limits. I do this professionally and I do it personally. So on the left is me with like a woolly mammoth beard. I just finished the New York Marathon, and on the right is me just finishing a half Ironman. Both of them are things that I never thought I could do and managed to push myself through. And it's the same way that I approach things like search and messaging, candidate experience, DEI, etc. Guys, regarding the chat, nothing can go in there yet. For any chat stuff, just drop it into the questions for now. They are working on enabling the chat functionality. So we will absolutely get there. I am a huge GIF and meme fan. If you are not a GIF and meme fan, please take note. This is going to be a really long hour for you. I also am a dog lover. Those are my dogs, Honey and Blue, and I'm a super blessed husband. That is my wife. She's totally kick-ass. She's actually a principal at Mercer HR, and I'm blessed that she and I actually get to speak at half a dozen conferences a year together. She is a very, very cool human. Big fan. And last, I'm a big fan of the idea of the word flawsome and the fact that like we're all totally messed up. And that's totally cool. We're allowed to be totally messed up. It's what makes each of us individuals and makes each of us awesome. So to that note, again, quick reminder for everybody joining, I do not save time at the end for questions. If you have questions, put them in the question box until the chat box appears. I will be monitoring the question box, so you can by all means pop them in there and I will answer them live as we go through. Also, to anybody who is sensitive to this, I'm letting you know ahead of time, I swear. That's it. There's no apology or anything. I'm just letting you know that I swear. So be please super mindful. If that bothers you, sorry, I guess. I don't really know what to say on that one. So yeah, so sorry. Here we go. Thanks, Brett. Go for it, man. So agenda for today, we're going to go through really quick what's the difference between data and people's suggestions of data. We're going to go through subject lines, messaging, best practices, and then I'm going to show you some actual examples. So guys, first things first. Here's the deal. I love all of you. You're all fantastic. I believe you're all great humans. That does not mean that when you tell me something, I trust that it's a true fact. So here's the deal. If anybody ever says, this is the best this, or you should do this, just ask them, cool, where's the data? Right? And here's the deal. There is two types of data. There's research and there's historical. So research data. This is going to be stuff pulled from psychological journal articles, and historical is me showing you what it does. Bryce, why would I swear if it offends someone? Because it's who I am. Take it or leave it. It's super easy. I'm done with the days of having to act in a certain manner to appease certain types of people or not. I've established myself enough and am comfortable enough with myself that I don't need everybody to like me or want to work with me. It's pretty straightforward. So here we go. Subject lines. Understand your audience. This is really important, guys. I don't think people do this enough. I think it's really important to understand what are your common reasons for leavings, right? Common career trajectories. Hell yeah, Doc. I think too often we're putting subject lines in that don't necessarily appeal to the group of people that you're reaching out to. Like, great example, if you're recruiting CDL truck drivers, they don't typically care about your corporate culture. What are they typically concerned about? What do the hours look like? What is pay is really important to them, right? Conversely, if you're reaching out to like Gen Z software engineers, pay is not something I'd probably mention in a subject line. Generally, they're looking for more autonomy. So do you understand the type of folks that you're reaching out to? Here's an interesting piece of information. So there are two reasons why people open emails, and only two, guys. And this is not me. This is a scientific journal article. And I will say this, and I hopefully won't get in too much trouble. I read about 9 or 10 psychological journal articles for this presentation. If you are interested in reading it, it's right here. I may or may not be illegally sharing it with you, and I apologize for that, only kind of. So this is actually from a psychological journal article called Should I Open This Email? So utility is one. So utility is I'm sitting here, I'm really hungry, and I see an email pop up that says Pizza Hut for the next hour is offering free stuffed crust pizza. Holy crap, I'm opening that email, that rocks. The downside is you can't tell, as a sender, do I like Pizza Hut pizza? And am I hungry right now? Because if both of those aren't present, I'm not opening that email. Curiosity, on the other hand, is a little different. Curiosity is what's going to get people to go, what's this about? What? Huh. Okay, let me see what this is, right? Curiosity can always be piqued. And that's the approach that we want to take using subject lines for open rates. So there are a ton of personalization rules. This is another psychological journal article that talks about subject lines, personalization, EQ, and making it so that people, when they read it, have a positive emotional and behavioral reaction. Here's a list of some of the positive rules. Here's a list of some of the negative rules. If you are looking at the numbers, you'll see, guys, there's a whole bunch. If you want to read all of them, dude, just click that link when you get this presentation or just type that into your browser right now. By all means, go check it out. I don't necessarily suggest it. Some questions here. Can we access presentation post-session? Nick, I believe so. Can I suggest attractive subject lines? Sudipta, I've got you totally covered there. Don't you even worry about that, none. So guys, positive rules, negative rules, give these a quick read. General things to take away from this. Keep your subject lines short. Don't make them sound salesy. Okay, so what does that look like? Guys, this is now the historical data I am sharing with you. Historically, what has worked for me over the past 3.5 years, I A/B test every email that I send. And when I do that, I'm sending out to software engineers, accounting and finance, HR, recruitment, sales, marketing, executives, operations, nurses, doctors, dentists, and psychologists. I think that that's it. Yeah, that's it, right? So this is across the board. Here is what has worked best consistently. Use their company name and just their company name. So what we'd want to say as our subject line, if you were reaching out to me, would be Wayne Tech or Wayne Technologies. The goal is to clean up the data. And then, important guys, make sure in the email you're actually asking about their current company, right? It'd be really, really weird if you reached out and mentioned, like, hey, purple unicorn spotting, and then like you never mentioned why the hell you said that in your subject line. So don't do that. If you use their company name in the subject line, ask them like, hey, are things still going all right at company? Hey, LinkedIn tells me that you are still at company, whatever the case may be, right? And now, where's my data? Great question, guys. I know all of you are asking yourself, show me the data. So guys, what you're seeing on this screen are 2 email campaigns compared side by side. Okay, so each one of these, right, you'll see has 2 subject lines, the blue and the white. You'll see the total number we reached and the total percentage opened, which is what we care about with subject lines. Check this out. Both of these had a 100% open rate. That's super rare. Check this out. FinTech shop, 59 million in funding. That sounds pretty awesome. 50%. Their company name, 69%. Any interest in new recruiter role, 75. Their company name, 77, right? This should be awesome. Global tech company, head of people, 41%. Their company name, 50%. And guys, you better believe I can literally just keep doing this, right? InfoSec manager role at New York Times, 78. Their company name, 81. Redbubble, cool company, needs a marketing manager. That's dope. 73. Company name, 76. It is just it. Ready, guys? Boom. Global health tech company, 66. Company name, 76. FinTech shop, software manager this time, 46 versus 76% open rates. It is insanely different, the results that you can get using this. Can the company name be put into the subject line automatically? Sure can. Yes, Carrie, 100%. Hi, also great to have you on here. So the subject line is just their company name. Yes, Leon, that is what you are seeing. It is literally just the company that they currently work at. For email marketing, Mark, I use Sourcewell. And for LinkedIn, I obviously use Dux-Soup. It's the only one out there I think that's super reliable. Yes, and Brett, to your point, it does have typically a higher reply rate. Here, guys, are the only 2 examples I can point to in the last year and a half where the open rates were different. This first one is a very, very specific search, and the GM call is super attractive to people, 2% difference. This one was a role I was searching in South Korea, and I did a bad job of understanding how to best present in that language or in that country. So do I have data message Europe versus UK? Yeah, so all of these are mixed. So just to check this out here, ready? Let's go back here so I can run this through you. Business Insiders, New York. This one is New Hampshire. New recruiter role is South Korea. Head of people is, I think this one was in Spain. InfoSec, this is New York. This one's San Francisco. Senior comp manager, San Francisco. This one's New Hampshire. Yeah, and then this one is in South Korea. So the one I mentioned, I will type this in here, is called Sourcewell. That's my new fave on the email side for everybody. And I can show that towards the very end. Yes, Robert, you just put their company name. Harvey, great question. Does it matter if it's a long company name? It sure does. So guys, you have to clean your data if you're doing this. Eliminate unnecessary words, abbreviate if need be, right? Like you can't reach out to this person here and be like, hey, how are things going at Adventure Technologies, right? Like, that's dumb. If you reach out to me and you go, hey, how are things going at Wayne Technologies Inc., I delete your email because I know it's auto plugged, right? Same thing here. How are things going at Amazon Web Services, AWS? That's dumb. Clean that up, right? No one's ever going to ask you, hey, how are things going at Gentex Corporation? They're just going to say Gentex. So you literally want to solely use the word the way they would use it. Keith, what are you getting out of this webinar? Best practices for messaging and subject line. I think it's literally in like the title of the webinar. And what was the name of the service? Proof the campaign works. Yeah, Brett, thanks so much. Cool. Yeah, David. So it's not hi company name. It's just company name is short for, like in your case, right? It'd be Freudenberg, and that's it. That's all you'd put in there. 30. What's worse, 30 minutes of Tabata or sourcing a Psi? I would the sourcing the poly Psi person all day. I'd do an hour and a half of workout before I did that. So the reason why company in my company doesn't work really well, Adam, is they know it's a recruiting email at that point. The goal of the subject line is solely to get them to open the email. Nancy, the tool I use for LinkedIn is Dux-Soup. They are the gracious hosts of this webinar. Is this webinar primarily for recruiters rather than salespeople? No, this works for both salespeople and recruiters. I just did a training on this with the sales team yesterday, actually. How am I cleaning the data, Eileen? Manually. Literally going through and just cleaning it up. It takes less than 5 minutes for 200 to get cleaned. How does this work with the government? Not well. Government is really, really tricky to reach out to. I still do the same thing and reach out with the company name, but response rates with government are always going to be harder to get in the grand scheme of things. Cool. Sorry, I'm just reading through the rest of these. I have. I'll let the team, the Dux-Soup team, answer the question Dux-Soup and Source Whale for you guys asking what I use. So with Dux-Soup, I clean up the names and then I load it in via a CSV file. It works way faster and way easier. Do it within Dux-Soup. Yeah, so with Dux-Soup, yeah, just to mention, so I actually export into a CSV and then import into Dux-Soup to make sure we clean everything up. Is that training for sales teams available? If you'd like, I certainly do that for a fee, but yeah, works with lawyers. Yeah, it does work. This works across the board, guys, because it piques to people's curiosity. That's the main thing. You want to make it so they read it and go, what about my company? Right? For my A/B testing, did I send all the emails out at the same time of day for the receiver? They went out generally around the same time to each of their recipients. It does vary it up a little bit, so that way we don't get caught in spam filters, which is really important. No, same strategy for InMail and email. It does not work on connection requests because there's no subject line. Do you need email addresses for Dux-Soup? You don't, because Dux-Soup is freaking awesome. It works right off LinkedIn. This does work on B2B sales. I do not cater to small companies. Uber, New York Times, Waste Management are all clients of mine. And Robert, to your point, if you don't think it works, show me some data. A lot of people don't think lots of things work or do think lots of things work. And my argument is the exact same to everybody. Show me the data and I'll back off and tell you that, oh, you're totally right. But until then, nope. There's no best time to send a message, Brett. It depends on each type of the person, each type of role that you're working on. Ways to automate InMail, Dux-Soup, the company who's literally hosting this webinar right now. So guys, I'm going to keep going. I'll keep looking at some of the questions as we go through this. So yes, I'll show complete examples of messages and stuff like that. So guys, subject lines, keep them to 37 characters or less. This right here is 36 characters. Why do I say that? This is actually a study done over 1 billion emails, and check out how many of them are opened on the phone, right? 28% opened on the iPhone, 10% through Apple Mail, right? And then you've got Google Android still on here. So we know that most people are looking at their phone for email at least a third of the time. Your phone, whether you're using Gmail or the Apple app, if you're using an iPhone 8 or later, is only going to show 41 characters. The second you have 42 characters, it does this dot, dot, dot thing you see here. In order to eliminate the dot, dot, dot thing from happening, keep your email subjects to less than 37 characters. That way, when you write back to them again and it says RE colon space, your 37 characters becomes 41 characters, and everything still fits on that subject line. Cool. Sorry, checking messages again really quick. I love this. Cool. Yes, this works for everybody. You guys can stop asking if it works for specific groups of people. Yes, this is generally across the board. I'm a 3-person company, and I work with global companies like Uber, and I work with small startups like Tropic and Casa who have less than 20 people. It works. And guys, if you don't believe me, try it. I'd love you to prove me wrong. So it means you found something that works better. That's dope. I'd love that. If you don't believe that subject line length is important, here's a scientific study showing you the corollary coefficients between subject line length and open rate. Check this out. Marketers should keep in mind the following rules of thumb. Keep the subject line as short as possible to convey the message. And ready? Guys, check this out. When in doubt, test. David, have I tried using the candidate's first name in the subject line? I have. It doesn't work quite as well. People read that as salesy. Grady, I do not have any data that supports whether people open with dot, dot, dot or not. To me, when I read that, it comes across as salesy. I've never read an informative email that starts on that has dot, dot, dot in the subject line. So for me, I personally wouldn't open that. Therefore, I don't send that email out. So guys, here's a bunch of myths that you're going to hear throughout talking to folks, right? One is using numbers in the subject line good? Here's 2 studies that tell you, yeah, using numbers is great. Here's 2 studies that say don't use numbers. For us personally, we've compared them. As you see here, we get a lower open rate. We don't use numbers. It's that easy. Simple. We just tested it and went that way. Am I using Sourcewell for measuring your email rates? I've used Sourcewell, Lemlist, and Interseller to compare just to make sure that it wasn't just one or the other. How do I split the test? The tools have A/B test capabilities. Otherwise, I just make 2 campaigns and send it out that way. Leon, I love the idea of people suggesting different things to try. Try them yourself and get back to us. Just A/B test it. Just A/B test it. You will find consistently over tens of thousands of emails, I believe, that just their company name works best. So people ask me all the time, what about asking a question, right? Or Kartik, what about an emoticon or something in the subject line? Check this out. This scientific journal article says you should ask questions in the subject line. Yesware, who's one of the most well-known blogs that publishes information about email deliverability and open, says do not, because it dramatically impacts the open rate. So what's the right answer? Don't know. Test it. Test it. Joy, what are the second, third email subject lines? I reply in line to the same emails. So it just says RE colon space, and then the same subject line again. Mark, why are we talking about subject lines? Because if your goal in coming in here is looking for a silver bullet to answer all of your questions on how to do this job, you're approaching this the wrong way. I'm giving you what has historically worked best for me and many others as well, but you should absolutely know why it works best so you can experiment on your own and try things that work really well for you also. What was myth number 1? Myth number 1 was using a number in the subject line. So guys, here's an interesting one. Spam words and phrases. Here's a list of the top 100 email spam words. Here's another list of email spam words. Here's another list of email spam. Don't worry, guys. Here's the spam trigger words to avoid. Oh, here's a list of spam words. Oh, here's 455 of them. Oh, and another. So guys, all of these lists are also different. There is no clear answer as to what does and doesn't cause things to go into the spam box. Why? Because Google would never post that information. They're not dumb, right? So what do we have to do? We have to be mindful of how our emails are read and whether they are being marked as spam, whether they're even being delivered because the email address is right, and whether they're being replied to. Those are the three things that we can track. Sherry, no, I do not send A/B tests to the same person. I take a group of 200 people. I send 100 of them one and 100 of them another to completely anonymize and randomize. Nick, I do not put a read receipt on my emails. Also, I also don't do click tracking. The more tracking you have in your emails, the more likely you are to go into your spam box. So salesperson, I always try to send to both. I know that sounds really weird. So if I'm doing sales, I want to put in the to box their business email and CC their personal email. It shows I've done a bunch of research and that I'm super serious about reaching this person. I have never gotten pushback on reaching out to their personal email. The only thing they've ever said was, hey, can you just use my work email? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Yes, right, like you're talking to an actual person. It's so crazy. This is the same. So Carla, this will be the same type of information you want to use for LinkedIn, because we're getting right into now the body of the message. Not a V test, a B test, like Alpha Bravo. It's just comparing two different emails where you change something slightly. You change one thing to see how they perform against each other. I am saying, Sean, I don't track clicks. So I track open rate and reply rate. Those are the big ones. Brett, you can do that for sure, throwing them into the links. I don't differentiate my messaging typically to different countries. And the reason I don't do that is because the messaging should appear the same in terms of the curiosity and allure. Yeah, Zishan, I'd have to look into that a little bit, man. That stinks. So, guys, body of the message. I'm going to keep going through this, and I'll keep looking as I do this. New email address and servers. Yes. So, new emails, guys. You have to be really careful. You have to warm up your email addresses as you get them. You can't just go sending 200 emails a week after you get a new email address. They will typically mark that as spam, and it'll take a while. I A/B test just completely randomly, but I send in the exact same cadence and times and everything. Just us, I don't know Pipedrive, sorry. Cool. Is this connect or the message? This is on the message. It will work similarly on the connect, and you'll see in a second while I go through here. I don't turn off if they open the email, Alex. I turn off if they have click-through tracking. So it'll tell me, like, did they click that link in your email? I don't want to track that because it oftentimes, if you have too many links in your email, can send you into the spam box. So guys, when we're actually messaging folks, here's the deal. This is a scientific journal article again. So you want to write your messaging in your voice, right? So guys, any specific questions for you in particular that aren't based around messaging best practices, just email me. And I'm happy to help as many of you out for free. Just message me and I'll answer questions like, what do I use? Best CRMs? Have I tried this? Gmail questions, etc. Just email me afterwards and I'd be happy to connect about any of that stuff. So guys, when you're messaging and using your own voice, that means you are writing the same way that you speak. So think about that for a second. How are you opening your emails? Are you saying hello? Are you saying dear, first name? Because here's the deal, guys. If I walked up to you at a party and I said, oh, dear Carrie, right? Carrie Collier would be like, holy shit, what's wrong with him right now? Right? Like he's got to be drunk. Same thing if I'm at a party and I'm like, hello, Jeswin, right? That's weird. People don't say, hello, Jeswin. They'd be like, hey, Jeswin. Hi, Jeswin. Jeswin, right? Like any one of those. So be really mindful about how you're doing that. How many links are too many? Less than 2. Alec, I'm going to put my email up at the very end, so don't you even worry about that. None. Best days to send an email varies. Varies. For tech, we have mixed results between the weekends and during the week, Carrie. I don't tend to put hashtags in my emails. If your emails have similar content, Jeswin, ping me after about any of that. Any of the specific questions, guys, again, about putting links in or asking questions, just ping me afterwards and I can ask or I can answer to the best of my abilities, and I'll help you to the best if I can. So struggling, there it is, Mariana, that's a great question. So struggling with high in more conservative industries or to older people. So I want you to know that that struggle is you, not them. And why do I know that? A recent study just came out that says hi first name is actually the most effective greeting. Because here's the deal, guys. If you're reaching out to a 65-year-old CFO of a multinational company, they still want to be spoken to like a human, right? They still don't want to be treated with pomp and circumstance, despite what everything inside of us tells us. Firstly, I hope you're well. Nick, I'd be intrigued to see you A/B test that and see what else you come up with. Links in the subject line. Do not put links in the subject line, period. Just don't do it. Significantly lower open rates. David, be careful saying stuff like that. Open rates really depend on the type of person. We get great open rates on Saturdays with software engineers. How many lines in email? We're going to get to that. Any data on emojis? I do not have data on emojis because when I see emojis in the subject line, I delete the email. So guys, how do you know if you're writing an email in your voice? Read it out loud. And I'm not saying do one of these, guys, right? In much the same way, seasoned email users seem to be increasingly relaxed about the technical. No, say it out loud, because what you're going to notice is things that aren't written in your voice sound weird. Right? In much the same way, seasoned email users seem to be increasingly relaxed about the technological limitations of the medium. That does not sound like me. I would rewrite that. Right? And so read that out loud and say, is this in your voice? Yes, Dan, this applies to nurturing emails as well. So I send 5 emails to all of my candidates. Do not use complete uppercase subject lines. That was easy. Don't do that. So guys, it could work. Let's find out. So we A/B tested. A buddy of mine and I both wrote emails to the same group of people. So it's 200 people. We divided in half. He wrote his using his like cheeky messaging or whatever. I wrote mine literally communicating in my voice the way that I talk. So check this out. If you compare the two of these side by side, you're going to see the one on the left performs way better, but check this out. Hey, John, hope this email isn't breaking up your flow at Microsoft. TLDR, wanted to connect about a senior marketing strategist role at SmartBug Media. They're a national leader in the growing agency space. Why it's compelling. Nationally recognized marketing agency. It's a strategy role. It is focused on our most strategic national accounts, right? It sounds like the way that I speak. The one on the right is like cheeky, right? This is trying to be like too personal or funny or whatever the case may be. And what you're going to see is the reply rates are massively different. Same thing here. Just straight to the point. This is how I talk, right? You're going to see 9% versus a 2% reply rate. Again, super written in my voice, more cheeky data, whatever. I'm throwing in a meme. I always put a meme in my emails. And this may seem like a low number, but 2% versus 1% is still double the amount of replies, right? So overall, how does it work when I write in my voice? I got a 30.5% reply rate. How did it work when it was in that like more cheeky or data-driven? 9.8% response rate is a massive difference. Massive difference. So some tips and tricks, and these are my historical data combined with research data. Number 1, use humor. So what do I mean? I mean, again, here's a scientific journal article telling you to appropriate subject lines. Yeah, we covered that. And humor applied conscientiously, meaning We are not using any politics. We are not using any social current events. We're not using anything that could be misconstrued as offensive. Memes and emails, 100%, Jeswin. In all of my sequences that I write, one of my emails always has a meme in it. I haven't tested video. I don't use Calendly links in my email until they want to talk to me. Yes, Ricky, I put it, so to be clear, I put a meme in one of my emails in a sequence. So if I'm sending 5 emails to a candidate or until they respond, one of those emails will have a meme in it. Every time. It doesn't matter if I'm reaching out to CFOs, doesn't matter if I'm reaching out to salespeople, and it doesn't matter what country. Uncle Jesse memes from Full House. Yeah, but can they relate to it? Well, we can always compare response rates if you'd like. Can they relate to the meme? Here's the deal, guys. If you have looked at any of the memes I'm sharing, they are all pop culture references. That's it. Can you relate to pop culture references? So guys, here's a fun one. Ready? How many people know what movie this is from or what actor this is? I add memes in line, Sayala, right within the email itself. Were my emails all threaded to the first? Yes, they were, Brendan. Everything's sent as a reply, right? So once you're using things like these type of images, which I'll show you in a second, some more of them, people can recognize them and they're not offended. The email examples are a combination of Sourcewell and Interstellar. We used to use Interstellar solely. Now we use Sourcewell solely. Yeah, it's dodgeball. But guess what, Leon? You still knew him from Zoolander, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly Globo Jam, Jason. Awesome, right? So yeah, you guys know this already. So it actually works. Doesn't the meme increase the chance of getting caught by the firewall? Great question, Joy. When you are sending a meme, the size of the image matters. Meaning in an email, and I'll show you one in a minute, the amount of space the image takes up has to be less than the amount of space the text takes up. No, adding images and GIFs does not push the email to junk as long as you are not putting in, 2, 3 images per email. In which case, yes, it can. One image, no, it does not. Again, depending on the size of the image. Jasmine, yeah, I love that, man. I actually make my own memes for most of them. Can you tell us how many follow-ups? Yep, getting to that. And I answered this spam question. Great. So guys, does this actually work? Guess what? This is a scientific journal article, again, showing the corollary coefficients of a massive study of email response rates. Ready? Check this out. The following hypotheses are supported. Higher response rate correlate with more images. It's right there. If you don't believe me, you believe science. If you don't believe me and you don't believe science, I literally can't help you do this job. Image first or text first? Text first, because when they see the preview, you don't want it to say image in the preview. You want it to say something. I say something like, I'll just leave this right here, or something funny. Calendar link question I answered. I don't put that in my emails ever. Can you use videos? Sure can. I can go over that in a different topic if you want. We can pop on a Zoom and I'll show you how I do that. Do links in your email signature impact delivery? Yes, they do. The number of links you have definitely impacts. I try to only put one link in my email signature. Size of the image and meme. So Mark, what I'm referring to is when you're looking at an email here, I'll pop in this. I'll go really quick and show you guys live what I'm referring to. So when I'm putting an image in one of my messages, let's look at this one. Let's go to edit. Boop. Okay, check this out, guys. So when I'm loading in my image, you want the image to take up the same amount of room or less room than the actual writing itself. So this one is actually a little bit large. I'm going to shrink it down. So glad we actually caught this now. So check this out. When you're looking at this, this takes up this much space in the writing, and then this takes up this much space in the writing plus my signature. This is smaller than the amount of text in terms of the number of rows it takes up, less likely to get caught in a spam box. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to go through the number of emails and all of that good stuff. Ba, ba, ba. The link doesn't open. Yeah, you have to put something after the .ch/. Link to the web page. Okay. Yes, Salvatore. As long as that's your only link in the in your closing your signature. Yes. Guys, I'm only going to answer this one more time. Calendly links. Do not put them in your email. I do not until somebody requests a meeting with me. I don't do that otherwise. I get a very low response rate when I do that. Videos, yes. What tool am I using here? This is Google Slides. I assume you meant Source Whale. Source Whale. What do you use to personalize the memes? I use, check this out. So I literally use meme generator. It's IMG flip, blah, blah, blah. I'll try sending this out to everybody. There we go. It's an answer to your question. So guys, I literally go in here and I'll upload a new template if I have an image. And then I just, mark my writing on here and I can do whatever I want. And then I just save the image. It's the easiest way to make a custom image for that one. Cool. What about a pic with a hyperlink? So I do that sometimes also, Michael, but you got to be mindful about the number of images and the number of links in your email. Do the tips you are giving us also apply for LinkedIn? They apply for both. This is generic messaging. This doesn't matter on what platform you're doing it. This is how people receive messaging. Jay or Deanna, I think everyone gets offended these days. You might think a meme is innocent, but not everyone feels that way. I completely agree. Not everyone likes the fact that I swear, and that's totally cool. But here's the deal. If you work in a corporate culture where people think memes are funny and someone you're reaching out to doesn't think memes are funny, that person's not a good fit for your culture anyway. Easier to get them out of the way in the beginning. It's Source Whale, WHALE. I've answered the calendar link question. Sorry, I'm not going to keep doing that one. Source Whale can be used for sales or for recruitment. Do I have any data that shows higher response rate on campaigns that have the messages all sent versus replies versus emails? Yeah, I sure do. It's in here, actually. I don't use attachments when I'm sending emails to people for the first time. So guys, color, great question. Thank you so much. Check this out. Using color in your emails will increase your response rate. Now, guys, please listen to me. Do not change the color of your text or the background of your email. That will get you flagged for spam and no one will respond to you, right? It doesn't work. What I'm saying is when you share a link in an email, make sure you hyperlink it and it turns blue. In your signature, make sure there's some type of color, whether that's your logo, whether that's a link to your LinkedIn. Make sure there's some type of color. And then when you're using images, you have to be super mindful what color are in your images. Like this bright orange in the background is not a good color. It doesn't attract attention. It makes me want to switch the slide. And so I'll ask you guys, do you know what the #1 color is to enable people to calm down and read and kind of take their time? Do you know what the #1 color is for that? I know there's probably a little bit of a delay here. Yeah, Nancy, is it black? Is it gray? Green? Sarah nailed it. It is blue. It is blue. And guys, hyperlinks turn what color? Blue. What is Facebook's logo color? What is LinkedIn's logo color? What is Twitter's logo color? What is Dux-Soup logo color? That's not a coincidence, guys. Blue is a very common color, right? You want to avoid those bright colors in your memes. That's why you'll notice most of my memes are a little tamer, unless I'm trying to be really, really funny about something. A lot that's really funny. So guys, have to be super careful about this. The look of your email matters, right? It is not possible to add color in LinkedIn messaging because LinkedIn is the blue devil and they're the worst. Thank God for things like Dux-Soup that help. So guys, the way your email actually looks is really, really important. I don't mean you guys are all beautiful humans, right? I mean, actually, how is it laid out, right? So this is going to shock a lot of people. Ooh, Joy, not only calm, but also trustworthy. Thank you. I'm taking that with me. I appreciate that. If you have any data on that, I'd be super appreciative. But it does seem pretty logical to me based on the amount that's out there. So thank you for that. Cool. Yeah, lawyers. They still enjoy the same thing we do, which is humor, right? Implied consent, Eric. So really funny is the implied consent laws, and I'm not a lawyer, so do not take my word for any of this. Do your own research. When you reach out, if you are selling something, you need implied consent. If you're reaching out and they haven't given you permission to reach out, you need implied consent. But I will still reach out with the same email, regardless. Just FYI, I just asked for consent within the email. Question, is that Mean Girls? Sure is. I have somebody saying my audio is dropping out. If anybody feels that way, can you please put it in there so I can try to fix that, I guess. Oh, Joy, with the article, just like that. You are awesome. Thank you. I'm literally opening this right now just so I have it for later. And guys, this is what I'm talking about, by the way. If you have a thing that is quote unquote a fact or whatever, just provide the data. I love this psychology of colors. So guys, check this out. 1 to 2 sentences per section, much easier to read. That was so fetch. Thanks, Brett. But stop trying to make fetch happen. Fetch is not going to happen. So what do I mean when I say this? Again, if you don't believe me, here's a scientific journal article. You should fact check me all the time. Guys, which of these is easier to digest? Right? What does this say really quick? What does this say really quick? Which of these is actually better? Batman or Superman? Batman or Superman? The obvious answer, that is always the correct answer when asked that question, Batman. Batman is better. There's no question about it, right? Why is this a better way to do this? Because you can see where everything starts and stops. This is one sentence, so I can scan through real quick. This is one sentence. I can scan through real quick. One line, real quick. When you're looking at an email like this, you can't scan through really quick because you can't identify the start and stop of sentences quickly. You have to look through and try to find the periods and exclamation points, right? So keep that in mind, guys. Really need to keep them separated with white space. I'm literally saying 1 or 2 sentences max before you have white space. Yeah, just like with resume formatting. That is totally right. My new tab screen. Thomas, ping me afterwards. I'll give you all the tools and stuff that I use. So guys, TLDR. Check this out. Yeah, I know. Brett, I totally am just trying to convert people away from Superman. It's really the whole purpose of this presentation. So guys, no one likes receiving that text message from mom that's like an entire page long, the wall of text, right? If you send me personally an email that is just a wall of text, right? Like 6 sentences in a row with no spaces, I want you to know that your response from me will always be TL semicolon DR, which stands for too long, didn't read. That's it. I'm not going to read it, right? So what do? 3 sections. Keep it super short and sweet in each section. Again, don't take my word for it. Here's journal articles, psychology journal articles that speak to exactly what I'm telling you right now. Super important that you keep things short and sweet and easy to read visually. Raw URLs versus hyperlinks. It depends on the situation, honestly. So I don't have great data to provide on that. We tend to hyperlink as long as we explicitly share what's in the hyperlink. But that I don't have any data. I wish I had some data to answer. That's a great question. So guys, a lot of you have been asking about this. How many emails do I send? How often do I send these emails? Guys, this is the actual data right here. I send 5 emails to every candidate. Now, yes, if you're thinking, what, 5? Once they respond, I stop sending emails, right? But if you don't respond to me, you're going to get 5 emails from me. I send them day 1, 2, 4, 6, and 7. These are business days. Raj, I'm almost positive the PowerPoint will. If not, ping me and I will send it to you myself. So guys, ready for this? 5 emails. Day 1, day 2, day 4, day 6, and day 7. You're going to get 5 emails in the course of 7 business days from us. This is what we have done for literally a year and a half. And everybody asks this question. Isn't that too many? Aren't people going to get really, really annoyed, right, if they're getting that many emails from us? Well, let's look at some data to validate that. So this is actual data that I took halfway through my contract with New York Times. At this point, we had messaged 3,440 candidates. Lindsay, it is the same cadence I use for sales emails. Yes. How does having less than 200? Great question, Vivek. So we find the number of emails you send each day has a direct impact on deliverability. We have found between 100 and 150 to be the ideal number to send each day. We also find that once you get over 200, the similarity of all of the messaging starts to trigger some certain spam filters. So like messaging 500 people with a similar or same message, at some point spam filters start to pick up that you're sending the exact same message out that many times. Yes, you'll see a sample of each email for sure. Sending 8 emails over 15 days. Yeah, same type of thing. I only send to 200 people at a time. After 3 emails, someone said to me, stop harassing me. Yeah, that person's going to be the outlier. So guys, yes, same cadence on LinkedIn. Yes, you can get my campaigns, just email me. Why not on the weekends? Sayali, it depends on the role. So software engineers, I'll message on the weekend. Accounting and finance professionals, I don't. They don't typically check their emails on the weekend. It's a waste. Cool. How do each of your messages differ? I'll show you all of that stuff in a second. Awesome. If you don't reply, I'm going to send you 5 more. Yeah, let's not play that game, but like, yeah, kind of. So guys, this is an actual question for you. I emailed 3,440 technology candidates ranging from the head of software engineering all the way to just a junior software engineer. How many of the 3,440 said unsubscribe or stop messaging me or something rude? It's an actual question. So Joelle, day of the week and time of the day for outbound emails is completely dependent on the type of people you're reaching out to. It's not, there's no best answer. Everybody who gives you like Tuesday afternoon's the best answer is completely full of shit. You have to look at their data pool of who they're sending it to. Right? Are you sending it to salespeople? Are you sending it to executives? What location are you sending them in? The seniority of the folks, what type of messaging, et cetera, right? So 2%, 3%, et cetera. Katie, I like Seek Out more than I like Hire Tool. Guys, check this out. Ready? 10. We got 10 people out of 3,440 who said unsubscribe. So does this work? Yeah, it does. Here's another example. This is the worst we've ever gotten, right? This one we wound up messaging 497 and we got 11 unsubscribes. That's the worst we've ever done. It's a 2.2% unsubscribe. That's the worst. When I say 100 to 150 per day, I'm saying from your domain. So like from WayneTech.com, 100 to 150, Uber.com, 100 to 150, New York Times, 100 to 150. And now if, obviously if you have multiple people at New York Times, each of them can send 100 to 150 before raising any like red flags with spam. I do not put in an unsubscribe request typically, but my emails are also not selling anything. I just want to check. The second you start selling anything in an email, I believe you're legally required to put that in. Again, I'm not a lawyer. Do not take my legal advice. So guys, Salvatore, really funny that you say what you said, right? So I actually just mentioned like, hey, I'm actually going to follow up to you in a couple of days if I don't hear back. Hope everything's really well, right? just mention it. Mention that you're going to follow back up with them again. I do not send the same message for 7 days. I never send the same message twice ever. How do you avoid being throttled on LinkedIn? I don't. You can only send 100 invites now because they're the worst company on the planet. Cool. Could recipients just be marking as junk so you don't know? They could, but once candidates start marking as junk, your deliverability goes down. So if you notice a strong dip in your reply rates, or people are saying, "Oh, I found your email in my spam box," that's a possibility. My email tools actually tell me if that's the case, so like I don't typically have to worry about that. But yes. So guys, ready? Test what you're doing. Right? Check this out. It's a journal article literally telling you to do the same thing I've been telling you to do this whole time. Test what works for you. Do not take my word for it. Do not take my word for it. Test what works for you. I would love for you to reach out and prove me wrong with the data. Show me. So lastly, guys, be yourself. Super, super important. I know we're out of time. I'm going to skip the personal story I normally tell, but really, really important. Be yourself. Communicate how you communicate. Do I write the F word in an email? I do not. But do I talk the same way I do in an email as I do in real life? Sure do. So that being said, are there any other questions? So if I am saying I'd like to chat, I don't need an unsubscribe. Zach, do not take my word for it. If you have a legal team, talk to your legal team about it. I'm saying I do not do that. Don't have any simple thoughts. Do I have reasoning behind this? Don't have any simple thoughts. Brendan, I'm not sure I understand your question on this one. I'm sorry. Yes. So great question, Victor. Yes, we do combine email. We use LinkedIn with Dux-Soup. And then if those don't work, we use text messaging. That is Source Whale, Stephen. David, I'll check out your meme. You have to email me privately after this. Personal story, I will, I'll tell that in 2 seconds. What email tools do you use apart from Source Whale? For email finding, I have a bunch that I use. I use Swordfish, Signal Hire, Rocket Reach, Kendo, The Reach, Nymeria, Loxo, Seek Out Hire Tool, etc. In Canada, you are required to have a clear unsubscribe. Yeah, see, Darren, I am not a legal advisor. Do not take my word for it. Best Batman actor, 2/3 of Christian Bale. I use Source Whale to send my emails. We'll reach out to connect on LinkedIn. Yes, absolutely will, guys. Text messaging tool. I use Loxo for text messaging. Send email first and following up with LinkedIn, or the other way around. Depends on the type of candidate, Sarah. Usually I will start with a LinkedIn saying, "Hey, I'm going to shoot you an email. Just want to connect so you know who I am." Cool. Do I ever call? I do not call because I'm a millennial and I hate cold calls. If I use a note to add the person in LinkedIn, how do you do it? I don't know the question. I'm sorry, Laura. I'm not understanding. It's my fault. Do I send text messages to people's mobile phones? Yes. Have I had any legal issues with DC lately? No, thanks, Tanner. I appreciate you bringing that up publicly. What is my email? It is on screen right now. When is my next session? In 27 minutes. I'm doing one with ATAP. It's on like tools, best like free tools, I think is probably what it's called. How do I get data for emails and phone? A bunch of the tools I just listed. Carla, ping me. I'll send you all the tools I use. Does Sourcewell let you automate Dux-Soup to get multi-channel in one system? It does not. We can use Integramat to actually do that exact thing, Saul. It works really, really well. Text tool again, Loxo, Loxo. Will memes work for boomers? Yes, Jeswin, they will. You just have to make them appropriate. Here's the deal. Everyone likes laughing. Everyone likes laughing. Can you get a link to the tools section? I think so. I know I should have this handy, but I don't. Let's see if anybody commented on any of this. It's with ATAP. So let me just pull up their website and see if I can get you all a link really quick. Yeah, anybody is welcome to join whatever they want. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. Hang on. Sorry, I know I should have this ready, guys. I just I legitimately don't. I don't know. ATAP webinar deemed a Costa Batman. See how that works. Am I going to send us a recorded copy? I'm pretty sure we will. Do you like Magic Spreadsheet? Don't know what that is, but it has Magic and Spreadsheet in it, so I'll probably like that a lot. Do I have one link to rule all your other links? Peter, I should probably have one link. I don't though, which is pretty dumb. Steve, email me and I will send you whatever it is that you want. Where are we? Oh, this one is it right here. That's great. Cool. I'm gonna send this here. Is this the one? I don't know if this is the one or not. All right, I will get this to you guys as soon as humanly possible. I'll have to open up and try to figure out why in the world it doesn't have it listed anywhere to join really quick. Next webinar. Oh, thanks, Sharon. That was cool. I know I should probably have that data, but you know, I don't. You're awesome. What else we got here? Just email me and I can answer any of your physical questions. How do I put a meme in an email? Copy and paste, literally. I make or find the email, right click, hit copy, go into my email, and then I'm writing and hit paste, or Control V, Command V. How long should you delete your LinkedIn requests? I typically wait like 2 weeks, and then I delete them. I don't need them out there for too much longer than that. Thanks, Jade. Appreciate you. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all the comments and compliments. Anna, I don't speak. I'm assuming that's German. I do assume that Dank is thank you, and I assume the rest is just speaking to how awesome my voice sounds, or something, or how much you love Batman. It's cool. Do I change the tone over the course of the 5 emails? I do, and I'm happy to go over that more specifically in maybe another webinar we do with Dux-Soup. Anytime, Alex. Thank you. Thanks, Kim. Oh my God. Hey, Kim. It's good to see you on here. I work with Kim. I love Kim. That's Kim Sindelar. Hi. No problem. Obviously, guys. Yeah. Thanks, Kelly. It's a lot of repeated questions, but I get it. There's a lot of people on here, and I want to try to help everybody. Guys, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I mean that. I'm really here to help you guys, right? Do I have a good Batman voice? I do not, which is why I don't even do it for fun. I am unworthy of the Batman voice. Oh, that's pretty awesome, Leon. David, I have no words for that, but that's very awesome. Do I have any specific tips for cybersecurity professionals? Yeah, I do. Yeah, you can ping me. I've done a few cybersec roles in the past month, actually. Oh, thanks, Tomas. I appreciate the the bilingual there. Will there be a connection request messaging webinar there? Not that I will do personally, because I don't have enough data to support that. How to send an invite to C-level execs? I click the connect button and then I type it out. I know it's a snotty answer, but it's literally what I do. I don't treat people differently based on their seniority. Do I do consulting for a team? I do. Alex, ping me. Happy to help with that one for sure.
Mike,
hey,
hello.
What's up, Giles? Sorry, man.
Giles, yeah, no problems. I'm conscious of the time, and I'm conscious that you've got another session coming up. So I think we can probably wind it up there. But I think we'd like to thank Mike today for his very insightful presentation and his energy. Absolutely brilliant. Just to let everybody know, in 2 weeks' time, we have another guest speaker in, a guy called Gaurav Sharma, who's going to be looking at Growth Hacking 101. So that's coming up in 2 weeks' time. You can subscribe via the normal links. And Mike, are you able to share the slides with us so we can share that with the entire audience?
Yeah, ready? Check this out. I'm going to do it right now.
Bring that across to someone in the Dux-Soup team, and then we can make sure that goes out to everyone who's subscribed. That would be amazing.
There you go.
Okay, and fantastic. And thank you to everybody who's attended today. And hopefully we'll see you all again shortly in the coming weeks. Thank you, Mike, for your time and your energy, and speak again soon.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.